Hello guys, my name is Louie and in this video we're making pickles. Now a lot of people think that pickles are really hard to make when they're really not. They're actually surprisingly easy, and yes, you can easily buy them at the store and it's way easier that way. But not only do homemade pickles cost less, they also are pretty easy and fun to make. Now in terms of what to pickle, probably the easiest ones are gonna be either a cucumber or some red onions. You can choose whatever vegetable you want as long as it can stand up to heat and it won't wilt. So don't do spinach, lettuce, anything of that type of matter that's like leaves or anything. So what I'm gonna be showing you today is how to make pickled onions, pickled cucumber, and pickled scallions or green onions, whatever you wanna call them. So the first step on making pickles is making the pickle juice. Now, I'm gonna spice it up with 1 tablespoon of black peppercorns, 1 tablespoon of cumin or fennel seeds, and then 1 teaspoon of coriander seeds. And then you just want to set this on high heat and let it toast until it becomes super fragrant and the smell of the spices is filling up your kitchen. Around 1 to 2 minutes. And make sure you stir the pot, otherwise your spices might burn and that would be really bad. And when we're talking spices, you can use whatever you want. You can use cardamom, fennel seed, cumin seed, peppercorn, coriander seed, cloves, whatever whole spices you want. Just make sure you're not using any powders. And yeah, so you can use whatever your spices you want, or you also don't have to do any at all, and that just makes this even easier. So first, I'm gonna show you how you wanna cut up a red onion for a pickling solution. So you wanna cut off both ends, and then take the skin off. What I like to do is make a small incision with my knife, and that makes it easy to get all the skin off. Okay, now that your onions are cut in, well, now that all of your peel is gone, you just want to slice your onion in half. This makes it safe for cutting because if it's still whole, it can roll around and you can cut yourself. Now, instead of doing a slice of the onion, we're gonna julienne them. So slicing is when you go across all these lines on the onions that you see, but julienning is when you go with them. So now you just wanna cut along the lines. So if you can buy a smaller variety of cucumber, they weren't selling them at the grocery store I go to, so I'm gonna have to do with a big one. So what you wanna do if you're using a big cucumber or any cucumber, you wanna measure your mason jar and see where you need to cut. So for me, it's just about halfway. And then I'm gonna cut it in eighths. Now, for the scallions, you want to do the same thing, so you just cut the root off. And then this end here isn't that good against heat, so I'm just going to cut it off. And then measure. So I need to cut a little bit more off. And there. Now that your spices are toasted, you want to turn off the heat, and then the trick for pickles is using a 50-50 between vinegar and water. It can be whatever vinegar you want. I'm using just basic white vinegar. You can use white wine vinegar, white Modena vinegar. I'm not sure about using apple cider balsamic or red wine vinegar, but you could give it a try. So now, you just want to smash 3 garlic cloves with the back of a knife. And then put that in with your spices. Heat is off right now. So because I'm making 3 jars of pickles, I'm gonna use 3 cups of just basic white vinegar, and then 3 cups of water. And then you just want to bring that to a boil. Okay, while your vinegar mixture is coming up to a boil, you just want to put your vegetables into whatever jar you want to use. Just make sure that it is not metal, because vinegar eats away at metal. And you just want to put your vegetables in your containers. Okay, now that your pickle juice is at a boil, you just want to take it off the heat. And then you could just pour this directly over, but I'm kind of clumsy, so I'm just going to use a ladle. And if your stuff is floating to the top, don't worry about that. I'll show you how to deal with it. Okay, once you have poured all of your liquid over, you're pretty much done. So in order to remedy your vegetables floating up, you just want to fold a paper towel so that it can fit your jar, and then just boom, like that. You want to let it sit like that until everything is completely cooled, then take it out and place the lid on it. But for the ones that aren't coming up, you can just seal those already. And you want to almost immediately discard of any leftover this, because vinegar eats at the metal, and if you're using a metal pan, well, your pan will not be in a good condition if you let it sit like this. Okay, so once all your pickles are just completely cooled, you want to place them in the fridge overnight, and then the next day they're ready to eat. And that is how easy pickles are.